Excellent. So welcome again to our inaugural Seeds of Change program. We are really excited about this because when we were thinking as a board at our strategic planning meeting this year, the Mother Earth Ambassador Project was amazing. We're super excited about it. And it was a lot of work to get that launched. And it's only one project. So we thought, well, how else can we more effectively support change happening in our community and around across Canada? And we thought, well, this might be a great way to do that, where you're coming in with ideas and we are acting as a catalyst, incubator, or whatever we want to call it. So I'm sure there's something relevant to seeds in there that somebody can pick out. Maybe a seed incubator. Yeah, to get these projects with more energy behind them and out into the world. So that's kind of the intention of today. And you're creating it, a greenhouse. There you go. Perfect. Yeah. So we're creating this today. So you're supporting the co-creation of it. So there'll be lots of times we'll just be asking what it is that you require, what would work for you. And we have a bit of a plan. So I want to run through that quickly. Then how this will go is we'll set up some agreements so people can feel like they can share openly and honestly here in this space. And then we'll do a poll, although I know you all filled out that survey that Zoom has. It's actually challenging because I have to go through each individual you. So I'm just going to ask you what role you want to play to make that simple. And then we'll dive in. Okay. So the overall format is each person, if you have a seed, an idea, a question, something that is in your heart that you want feedback on, support with, you'll have 3 minutes up front to explain what the idea is, what your question is. I'm encouraging you not to go too on and on about whatever it is, because really this time, the beauty of the time is the feedback that you're getting. So to just be mindful of that. And then the nurturers and or the witnesses, if you want to jump in as well, are there to provide any kind of support that they feel they can offer, whether that is certainly past experience wisdom or connection wisdom or just ideas. Maybe it's a couple of really good coaching questions to have you further noodle on the idea and get more clear about it. Okay. And then the last couple minutes will be for that seed holder to communicate what it is you took from that experience and what's your next step, so we can hold that intention for you and with you. And then the idea is that you come back, in, it's going to be once every quarter. And we'd love to keep updated on your progress and how you're doing. And of course, you can always reach out in between to me, certainly. And then we can talk about these things as a board as well. So how does that sound? Yeah, cool. Okay, any questions at all? Okay. The other note, and I've received this at Wisdom in other circles like this, is when you're receiving the input, not to get into that. How we tend to be is like start defending or rationalizing why we made a decision or what we did. It's really just to say, like, stay open, keep receiving. And we all know you're doing the best you can in making the decisions with, the best of wisdom that you hold. So it's not about that. It's just, yeah, just trying to stay open to receive, receive, receive as much as possible. Okay, so let's just take a moment to get present, and then I'll ask what roles you want to play, and then maybe we'll get present, set your intention for how it is you want to be in this space and what you want to receive. Even if you're not a seed holder, maybe there's something here that you're wanting to receive. And then we'll start. Okay. So let's just find your feet on the ground. And I invite you to close your eyes if that feels good for you and you're in a good space to do that. And if not, just soften your gaze, maybe off the computer screen. And Just feeling your feet on the ground, really sensing Mother Earth underneath you. Doesn't matter if you're in a high rise building, Mother Earth is always there underneath you, supporting you, nourishing you with abundance and creativity and love and acceptance. And we can always tap into that. So let's breathe in all that good energy up through your feet, and into your core, and just holding it in your belly center for a little bit, kind of low in your belly. Breathing into that beautiful space that holds so much wisdom. Allowing your thoughts to fall away, allowing your heart rate to regulate. Not needing to change anything, simply accepting all parts of you and how you are for how you are, for what it is. Bringing your attention up into your heart space, this beautiful spot of connection and love. Bringing to mind something that you're grateful for, something that happened today or yesterday, or doesn't matter. Just what is something that you can appreciate in this moment? And when you find that, just really feel that gratitude energy flow throughout your whole body. Feel the high vibration that comes with that. You might want to bring a smile to your face. And bringing to mind in this moment what your intention is for what you want to receive over the next hour and a bit. And just letting that answer come up and out of you, not from your thinking brain, but what is it that you want to receive? And then bringing to mind, what is it that you want to give, contribute to this space? What is it that you want to give or contribute? And again, just letting that answer bubble up from your core. Beautiful. So let's just take 3 deep breaths in and out, and then we'll come back into this space. So breathing in through your nose, big belly expansion. Feel free to sigh out loud. The exhale, just letting anything go, letting your shoulders drop. And then again, breathing in. I want to roll your neck. And then one last time, big breath in, big smile, feeling that gratitude energy, and then exhaling. And then coming back into this space when you feel ready. Lovely. So as I was doing that, I was curious that it might be nice just to hear that out loud, what your intentions are. Before we do that, however, I would like to just see how many seed holders we have here today. So who of you have an idea or a question or something that you want to get some wisdom? Patrice, yeah. Susan, excellent. Maybe Monica. Yeah. Okay, great. So I think we have time to do this. So I'd love to just go around the circle and maybe state your name if you want to introduce yourself a little bit. But what's your intention? What do you want to receive in this space, and what would you like to give?
I'll kick it off. Hi everyone, Deb Alcadino. I am a nurturer today, so I'm here to contribute wisdom, whatever that looks like.
What do you hope to receive?
What do I hope to receive?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here as a giver today. And I'll pass to Jessica.
Do I have really high background noise? Because it's no, perfect. Okay. Yeah, I'm Jessica Sudine. I guess I've been involved with female wave change since Pamela was really involved with it. Hey, yeah. Yeah. So today I showed up. My intention is to be a nurturer as well. And I'm feeling a lot of groundedness, a lot of, a really nice feeling when you were saying about just let it bubble up. And it really did. So thank you for taking that time to make the space mentally for that. What I'm looking to receive is just, I find it always that whenever you're in a circle with this kind of energy, that regardless of what comes out of, it doesn't matter whose mouth it generally applies, whether that is going to be applying to your business, to your family, to a relationship, to a situation. Like, I always find that the divine timing comes in. So I'm sure during the session, something will just poke its head into fitting right in where it is. And my intention of receiving is to be open for that.
Would you like to pass on the baton?
Oh yeah, I forgot about the baton. Well, Monica, guess what?
Thank you, Jessica. Yeah, so I'm Monica. I'm one of the co-chairs with Amy Leah, and definitely in support of this beautiful new project. Today, when I first came in, I wanted to step into the role of the nurturer. And during the meditation, I also realized that I'm also here to witness. And the idea popped into my mind that actually I might want to just share an idea that I have, and it's very raw. I haven't thought about this at all to be prepared for this here. So if we have the room and time, I'd love to share an idea that I have, and what I would love to receive for that is what came up for me is reassurance. And that's it. That's it for me. And I'm just really also very present and open-hearted. That helped to focus on the heart, like open to give and to receive, to nurture and to witness what wants to unfold here. So thank you for creating that space, Emilia. And I'm going to pass it on to Susan.
Oh, such lovely questions. Hi, I'm Susan. And I am here to, oh, it's so funny to be asked what you want to receive. It's like, oh, there's a muscle I need to flex. And as I dropped into the question, what came up is just, I think, the space holding, wisdom, just to feel other women at my back, at my front. And then that's where I realized, oh, I just actually don't want to do this thing alone. So that's what I'd like to receive. And in terms of giving, just anything that I can, like anything that emerges in this space, if I can offer it, I will. That one comes easier to me. But if I have it, it's yours. Yeah. So thank you for initiating this. My little metaphorical mind is so excited with these little seeds. It's going to be so fun to see what's going. Patrice.
All right. Well, I'm Patrice, and also known as the gardening grandma. So you can say, "Hey, gardening grandma," and I'll respond to. But I love this idea and when you were talking about what you're grateful for, and what came up was I was so grateful that I can be in communities of supportive people, and the generosity that's been shown me is amazing, especially in the more darker times. It's wonderful to know that there's some light out there, and so I'm hoping to be able to receive from people that have maybe be traveling in a circle that is not as familiar to me, that with my project, that maybe I can get some advice, guidance, ideas to move the project forward. And the same as Susan said as for giving, that it's whatever I have, like if it's my knowledge, contacts, if I've got it, it's yours. Just like Susan said, it's over there. And Amelia, how am I saying your name right? Amelia.
Amelia. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, thank you. Oh, beautiful. Wow. So Amy Leah Tamburini, I am, one of the co-chairs with Monica, Female Wave of Change Canada, and get to work with Deb on the board and some other amazing humans. And wow, I think I'm already receiving what I came here to receive, which is just that nourishing, loving in space that that is being co-created here. I just feel it seeping into my soul, and on a day that is going from one meeting to the next, this feels very good for me. Healthy and nourishing. So thank you for that. And I think I just hope to give my ability to hold space, and also anything that would be of support, but primarily just my presence here. So great. So we've got Patrice and Susan and Monica. Do one of you feel called to go first? And I will just say thanks, Deb. She's going to be keeping the time. So Deb, how will you be warning people on their times?
So just to confirm, 3 minutes for the presentation. And then the next interval is, do we have something before the 10 minutes?
Nope.
3 and 10.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to actually enable the Zoom timer so that it's on screen, so everyone can see that.
Cool.
I'll set that up. I didn't think to do that till just now. Give me a sec, and if I can't figure it out real fast, then I'll just, okay, there we go. Okay, so we will see that on screen in when whoever wants to go first.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. I didn't even know that existed. Fantastic. Okay, so Patrice, Susan, Monica.
I'd like to go last if I go at all, if we have time.
Okay, one of you needs to go first. Who's it gonna be?
Patrice, great.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So if we get the timing going, I'm not seeing it yet. Ah, there. Okay, so a project that I'm very happy to be involved in is the Food Circle show, which is a wholesome feast for mind, body, heart, and soul. And it's a collaboration of mostly mature women with that wanting to help people live a healthier lifestyle. And we come from a broad range of like nutritionalists. I'm a gardening expert, growing your own food. There's autoimmune disease and chronic disease, healing it naturally, like just a wide range of folks that are bringing in their expertise, their resources. And we are bringing about it's the Food Circle show, and we're bringing it onto the Transform Your Life platform, TV network. And in bringing this about, there's different costs and such involved, and we are looking towards how we can find sponsors to help us so that we can be a lifesaver to more people. It's I think it's kind of the time that people are looking for that more healthy living styles, and so that is more what I'm looking for. If anybody, and that's a new avenue, totally new to me. I've never been in a position looking for sponsors, do not know how to go about it. I've had some contact with some people, so I've got some idea now of who sponsors might be. So if anybody have moved in that circle and or being on a TV show, any guidance that way, I would appreciate it too. So I've got a few more minutes. Yeah, so the range, it's not just about nourishing your body, with the food. It's about nourishing like the mind, body, heart, and soul. And do it like Food Circle, it's coming together around our food. It's not just the physical food, it's the nourishing the whole self. And as I say, coming together around our food. It's a lot has been lost in that sense.
So we have 2 minutes for clarifying questions, correct, Emilia?
It's right into the 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a quick clarifying question, and that is, are you looking for financial partners or collaborative partners?
Well, I'm looking for, of course, we always invite, people if they want to collaborate, but at this point, we're looking for financial sponsors for the TV show.
Yeah.
And Monica has a question.
Yes, I also have a clarifying question. Did you already spend some time on clarifying what the benefits would be for sponsors?
Yes, we only a little bit, but they will be mentioned on the show and presented. It will be streaming on 30 different platforms, so they will get exposure that way.
Okay, thank you.
And who are you directing the content to? Like, who are you speaking to?
Well, our targeted audience, it's more the mature women that are kind of in control. I don't really like that word control, in control of the food, but pulling the families together, and so that's really our main clientele, and family-oriented people.
And is this national or international?
It's international.
Yeah.
It's the Transform Your Life Network will be like it'll be streamed on Netflix and Amazon Prime and Roku and
Okay.
all these different platforms. So
Oh shoot, I forgot to set the timer.
I have one other clarifying question. What kind of an audience are you aiming at? Like, how many people do you think you will be reaching or wanting to reach?
that we don't have a number with yet. That I know that we've been in really close contact with the what is it, the director, founder of the Transform Your Life Network, and we've been told the way we don't have numbers on it, but all the different ways it will be promoted. So I know that's a weakness. We don't have that number yet, and because we haven't launched, it's to start in January.
Thank
So
you. Thanks.
Okay. Susan, go for it.
What's your best case scenario? Like, what's your oh my gosh, if this happened, this is the best day ever?
Yeah, like if there's someone that we would really be happy endorsing, and that they would cover, like we've done the breakdowns of what it's actually costing us to bring it to the TV network, that if they are happy to cover that cost of $5,000, and we would be very happy, especially if it's someone like that we are very, very happy to get behind and endorse on our program. So yeah. And Jessica?
Yeah, I got a comment, and this is more of a comment of when I was doing sponsorship stuff before. A lot of the things was the people that you're looking to sponsor are the people who sell to your audience.
Yes.
Right. So when you're thinking about the context of what you're looking for in a sponsor, for example, so like we were running a motorcycle event. So what are we looking for? We're looking for, shops, motorcycle shops, but also masseuse people. Like there are all these things. So when the question was put up, is it looking for financial versus collaborative? So that's where, okay, well, we're not going to be looking for a collaboration with a masseuse maybe, but maybe there's a couple of masseuse companies that are interested in financially supporting because of, right? And they may be asking for those numbers of how many views they're going to get. But really, from my experience, that's a little bit less of, like, you're still looking for how many cents per view is someone buying and spending their marketing budget from to sponsor you. But at the same hand, it's a lot about, well, what else is it for us, right? So really thinking about what is your audience going to need from this, right? And then when I've put sponsored packages together, it could be something like, okay, on the TV show, your logo gets to be this big. It's going to be set up for this long at the very beginning of the show. At the trailer, there's going to be a break, or at the very end. So that's another thing when you're looking for sponsors. I would set up a platinum, gold, silver, bronze package. And, one package is 500, the next is 8, the next is $1,000, the next is $3,000, whatever it is, right? So, and really showing, what do you guys get for that? Well, you get a bigger sticker on the race car or on the motorcycle, or you get to have your banner up, or whatever it is. You get a bunch of plugs,
Oh, yes. Excellent. Monica had her hand up.
Yes, yes, I did. Thank you. So one practical idea that you may want to consider for finding sponsors is look around if you find an individual that has experience with attracting or going after sponsorship, and ask them if they might be willing to volunteer for a few hours. Somebody that is in support of your initiative, a professional that has professional experience of finding sponsors, and that can offer you their support for free or maybe at a very low charge. So that would be an idea to actually get professional support. Mhm.
Right. And Susan had her
Yeah,
hand up.
so ideas. I was thinking about the whole Blue Zones, like Living to 100, it's been on Netflix lately. And I think National Geographic is a big sponsor for them. So I did a quick Google and they appear to have grants. So I would check that out there. And then I think the other thing that credit unions tend to be more provincial, but looking at kind of credit unions that are wanting to convey a particular image. And then certainly the grocery industry, whether it's like the Whole Foods, and I don't know how I feel about it, but I'll say it anyway, Costco. I mean, they have all kinds of brands and probably deep, deep pockets, and they need to be transformed like the best of us. So anyone in the grocery industry, I think they like to come around that, and there'll be a big kickback because women are often the ones doing the grocery shopping. Shocking, I know. So I would be going for big ticket at the big organizations like that. Yeah. So I put the link to the National Geographic, but I'm sure there's other ones too. I wonder if we have any universities who are like looking to do longitudinal studies, or I don't know. I'm not sure if there's anything there, but just brainstorming.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
This has been wonderful. We've got one more minute.
I popped a few things in the chat and tried to capture some of the thoughts from Jessica and Susan as well. So just a reminder, everybody will have the recording, but download the chat as well, save the chat as well.
And I'm very happy we're going to have the recording. There's been some wonderful suggestions, and I knew there'd be someone here who's been playing in that field. So thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, and depending, like when I was coaching drivers in Europe, like we were talking, those bronze packages were starting at, 5,000-6,000 euros, and the platinum ones were 50,000 euros.
Right.
Yeah, so you're really looking at ROI for what are your sponsors getting out of it. Apparently there's, like, I was talking with a friend of mine, and of course it's, someone from not even this country. This girlfriend of mine who's a PhD researcher in alternates to vaccines and what have you. She does bacterial studies, but she's here in Calgary, and she said, do you know how many grants are out there for women entrepreneurs right now? So to show that you have it's absolutely insane in Canada right now. What sort of, none of us should be paying for marketing budget or this or that. There's so many grants out for us. And I'm even at a point where I need to learn and research to tap into those. So that would probably be a great follow-up thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is amazing.
Amazing. So I know it's a big call, Patrice, but based on what you've heard or what you kind of pulled in, what's sitting with you, and do you have a sense of what one action might be after this call?
Well, it's opened up some new perspective there, like the grants and the the bigger, going for the bigger companies. And I know for myself, it's about broadening your view and reach, and really getting tighter on the numbers and putting together like the packages. And I think that's something we had been working with, that pulling together our numbers. And so that we can give a better presentation when we go to approach these sponsors, possible sponsors. And so I think that, and that is going to be the next move, is pulling together the numbers. If we can get a better idea for the viewage that they'll be getting, and so we can come up with that sense how much it'll cost per view, that if any business, that's what they are usually looking for, what their return is going to be, what's the what it'll cost them for the viewage. And yeah, so pulling together those numbers and putting together packages. I love that idea about the different levels. Yeah. So
Amazing. Yay.
yeah.
You're our first seed holder. So sprouting.
And I
things.
really appreciate it. Such wonderful feedback. And that's the beauty, hey, when you're holding it in your head, it's totally different. But when it's put out there, then it's a whole different view you get. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I want to watch your show too. Sounds amazing. So yeah, definitely save the chat, Patrice. There's so many nuggets in there. I also realized I did not do agreements at the beginning. I know this is a beautiful sacred circle and we're doing well. And I want to create a little bit of space for it now. So that we can be even more intentional about the safety of this environment. So what is it that you need to show up and communicate authentically in this space? I'm just in this environment in particular. We're sharing business ideas, so that's another thing to keep in mind. And I'll record these and make sure I'll have a slide with them on the next round. So yeah.
I think confidentiality is the first thing that would be important for everyone. What's said here stays here.
Yeah. And knowing that it's coming from a supportive attitude, which I very much feel here. So it's
so giving wisdom from that supportive energy or supportive attitude. Yeah.
I think understanding where recordings live is
Yeah.
important. Yeah. So I just got asked to be recorded at the University of Calgary when I did a workshop. And of course, at the beginning, I said, oh, of course, the students that can't make it because it's in between midterms, blah, blah, blah. And then I thought about it and I said, okay, well, I think I'm going to go back to them and tell them, that video recording is going to be live until either the end of the semester or the end of the school year. And then it's going to go because it's all my proprietary information. Because make no mistake, my slide decks are very light on words because all the IP is up here and comes out of my mouth, right? So understanding where recordings live, who has access to them, how long they're available for, things like that. God knows I used to be just as guilty as doing screenshots when I was taking a course, but I was very filled with integrity, is that I didn't share any of that. That was literally for me, but it's really easy to record a screen.
Yeah.
You can do it with your phone or whatever, but it would be good to know from Female Waves of Change process, like just to understand where, when, who on recordings.
Yeah, I think Monica, you can jump in here too. My idea in this particular moment, not having thought about it at all, is unlisted video on our YouTube channel. So nobody can search for it or find it. Only people with the link can access it. So there would be an ask then that you do not share the link, that you use it for yourselves. So how does that feel?
And
oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and what we can also do is that we say, okay, we'll leave it up for a month. Everybody who wants to review it can review it and download it to your own device, but that we will take it down afterwards. right? And I think that is possible from our channel, unless you would feel safer if we did not make it downloadable, right? That would need to be agreed upon as well, right? That we could establish some parameters around how long the video stays up, right? And then it would just be kept in our shared Google Drive that we have, that we share amongst the board members, which is obviously limited just to our eyes and our access.
Any thoughts on that? Sounds good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I had one point that would be important for me, which already has happened beautifully, and I don't ever see it not happen, but it would be important to have the space and the time to just freely express whatever is on our mind, and to not be pressured, or that there's somebody looking at the clock, oh my God, how long does she take to get out 2 sentences, right? So that we really have that space and be present for each other and give each other the time and space to actually speak and share what we have to say without feeling pressured or judged if it might take 10 seconds longer, and to not be interrupted.
Yep. Anything else? No. Okay. Great. So I'll write these up and include them in the next Seeds of Change. So just we're holding confidentiality, really bringing us a knowing that advice is being given with the support, that supportive nature or attitude. Recordings will live on our YouTube channel, unlisted, and you'll receive the links, and then they'll be removed after a month. And that we give each other the time and space without feeling pressured to get to meet the timelines in the exact way. We have some flexibility there with time. Yeah. Does that work? Okay. Thank you, everyone, for that. Susan,
Yep.
oh, yeah.
I would almost be open to a 2-month. And I only say that because I know that when I go away on vacations and things like this, it's always 2 to 3 weeks. So I was in other organizations, we always kind of gave a 2-month grace period just to account for what happens if the next day you are going on vacay, right?
Yeah. One other idea is 4 months, and that just brings us to the next Seeds of Change offering. Just yeah. So no pressure. I know everyone, if you're like me, you got a list of recordings you're going to watch one day. Yeah.
And are we okay with the video being downloadable by the viewer, which is just the 6 of us?
Yes, all around.
Okay,
Looks like,
cool.
yeah. Great. Okay. Thank you. All right, Susan, take it away.
First of all, thank you so much. I feel so grateful to share. I'll get my words going. So my name is Susan. I'm an Integral Master Coach and founder of Women Redefining Success. And so I do one-to-one coaching, but I also like to facilitate workshops and other offerings. And I'm coming here today with what is called the Manifesto of Women Redefining Success. I can drop the link into the chat. It's on my website, and you don't need to look at it now. And it's probably not, the content isn't so relevant as well, the specifics. Sorry, the general content, the ideas is probably conveyed enough in a manifesto. So, my question is, there's a lot about my way of relating, which can be really push and initiate and send things out. it's very exhausting energy that I'm not as interested in anymore. And so the part of me that really wants to feel into is the wisdom of where can these seeds be planted? Where could this, how can, what wisdom and ideas do you have about sharing this manifesto so that other women can read it, receive it, and over time, as it gets out there, quote unquote, or the seeds are planted. I mean, it doesn't need to be out there. I like it more like for it to grow in the ground. We're talking seed metaphors. Is yeah, what wisdom and ideas do you have about that? Yeah, about that. I think that's the extent of it. Doesn't feel so complicated.
I've got a question. Deb, do you want
Yeah.
to go first?
I was just gonna say, I'm just a little fuzzy. So, you have a manifesto and you want to share this with a broader audience. And the question is, how do I share it with a broader audience that feels authentic? Okay.
And I also want to get it in front of the right audience, which
Yes,
would
yeah.
be women or those who identify with being women. And I think when I think of the question of authenticity, because I can self-generate my own ideas, I feel like, oh, I'd be more interested actually in hearing what other women have to say, so that I can feel into that and respond versus just do the thing.
Yeah.
There's a desire to kind of this to be more co-created, and I feel so curious what can and will come up in the field, and so that would be it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Jessica?
Yeah, my question was, is what you're looking for is to kind of get the publicity part off of your plate, or is also content? Like, is it the manifesto via what's in it, or is it about getting more readership, or both?
My mind's like going through what the difference is. Can you rephrase it just so that I can?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing is promotion and the
Yeah.
other thing is content.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't have a real agenda for how it, I mean, underneath it is, I really want to disrupt how women have been, how we are working and living. And so I'm really interested in disrupting that and providing a view to other ways that we can live our lives and that are sustainable. And so I wanted to be a bit of a beacon and say, hey, what about this? What do you think? And I also want really believe deeply in each woman's ability to redefine success for themselves. So I don't have a way that we're all going to do. Here's some inspiration. Here is where I think change could happen, needs to happen. Here's the stuff that is we're so done with. So I don't think, did I answer your question? I'm not quite sure, Jessica. All right. Thanks. Oh, sorry. Patrice. Patient. Yeah. So Canadian, aren't we?
So how have you been presenting this so far? Like, how have you, what kind of outreach, or have you been going on different podcasts or whatever, or how have you been taking that out to the world so far?
Yeah, that seems like some of the obvious avenues, right? So I've talked about it on my social channels and probably mostly to my email list. And I haven't talked about it a lot. I did a whole series on YouTube. So it was such an interesting question for me to feel into, like, what do I need today? And I think it's just that support, like, of women coming around you and saying, yeah, keep going, you've got this, which feels very 12-year-old of me. And I get to be also 12. So, yeah, so I've got it out there, and I'm feeling into the currents, and increasingly, I think that probably the further I move into perimenopause and menopause, the more I actually don't care. I'm going to come out and talk about it. It's like, I just don't care anymore. Here, I have something to say. I don't care if you listen. I mean, obviously I deeply care, but I'm riding the waves of those, those hormones that are just going to do probably a lot of the work for me. Aren't they handy? Thank you for all your nodding heads. Thank you. Right? You get it. You get it. So, yeah.
I love it.
Right. So, yeah, so I haven't put it out. I have a bit of a stop start in me. I put it out and then it's like, oh, pull or retract and contract in. So, but I've been really sitting with the energy of it, and increasing it feels like time. And then this opportunity came up and I'm like, oh, that's a good place to play. So
I can see,
Emily.
yeah, I can see that your heart is in here, and the manifesto, I just took a peek at it. It's really a healing, it sounds like a healing journey for you.
Also, yeah.
Yeah, which is great. And I just also just want to note for everybody that tears are welcome in this space. You know, it's, I think so rarely do we have these spaces where we can just let go of all that we've been holding to get these ideas out into the world. And this has been a really courageous release. So I want to acknowledge you for that.
Thank you.
I also want to ask you, what do you love to do? In terms of when you think about marketing activities like speaking and social media or videos or like doing a play, like I don't care what it is, but like, what do you love to do?
Thank you for that. I find a lot of ease speaking online, going online. I haven't done a lot of podcasts. I think there's that like, oh, I need to go and market myself and get into and that's part of it. So go, I can put on my Bear Girl panties and do that. So like the verbal side of it isn't tricky for me. Do I need a stage? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't probably say no, but I'm not going to be seeking out speaking to the masses. Again, maybe, but it's not. I don't know. I think that I prefer more intimate settings where there can be an exchange. So I actually, it's not so interesting just to put it out into the void. I want to feel the responses, because this is just even the first cut. It's a raw little, toddler kind of walking around skinning its knees. It's going to grow up and it's going to hopefully be shaped by others. So I can write, but I can speak with ease. Yeah.
Cool. So two things I'll put out are where's your audience, first of all? Also, are they on LinkedIn?
They're on LinkedIn, Instagram. I have some on Facebook.
Okay. LinkedIn has LinkedIn Voice, I think it's called, or LinkedIn, yeah, and then LinkedIn Live Video. You can go live video or voice only. And I did a voice only one the other day, and it was amazingly intimate and awesome. And so that might be a thing where you just take one of these a week and you host a live and you just repeat, and you're bringing everybody to your website every single time to be like, here, the other 9 are there. But every week you're going to go and delve into one of these topics, which, yeah. And then the world will spread.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. Sorry. I don't need to hear myself talk. Okay. Jessica.
Yeah, I had a question. Where are you based out of right now?
Waterloo, Ontario, Canada.
Waterloo. Okay. So I don't know how someone heard me speaking at an event, and now I have this new young friend. They have no idea what hot flashes and crazy menopause stuff that I'm going through is. But make no mistake, it's kind of neat hanging out with this young circle. Like they're all in their 30s and they definitely have different priorities in their lives, but they're also on a different level when it comes to provoking conversation, and they're so much more open. So I would invite you to look for like what's going on, and especially because as soon as you said, yeah, I could talk to the masses, but a lot of stuff comes from community building or community events, right? So I'm very lucky in Calgary. There's so many different things. There's women talk. There's all sorts of different women business things that you can go to. And I found it really interesting to kind of open myself up to going into a different generation of circles.
Mm.
And that's something that I've played with in the last, like, since, I don't know, when was I invited? I was invited to some golf thing, and seriously, it was all 30-year-old filled with energy and different ways to think about strategies. So I would invite you to think about, well, what about reaching out to women that are outside of your current circles?
Thank you, Jessica. Monica.
Yeah, so piggybacking on what Amelia said, I had exactly the same idea. Take one of your manifesto points and make a video or audio out of it and just keep repeating, keep putting it out there. And you now have a group of supporters here, right? So whoever is willing to share them with their audience might want to join you, right? And maybe they're willing to receive a text message from you. Hey, I posted on LinkedIn. Can you please help me share? That's one thing. And another idea I have is like for you to maybe it would actually be you and I interviewing each other on our points, action points or manifesto points that we would like to share with the world. Right? That's an intimate setting. Both you and I think we interview well. So that would be another way to get the word out.
Yeah, I've started, here's me, my stop start energy is 50 conversations with women redefining success. So just conversations, say, hey, tell me what you're up to. Tell me what your version is. How do you figure it out? And
yeah, or even just one of your manifesto points. Right?
Yeah, that too. Yeah. I do like to kind of illuminate what women are doing because it can look so many different ways, but that's a neat point too, that, hey, what do you like? Just a back and forth. That's cool. Okay. Got that one. Feel the difference. Nice.
You've got 5 seconds here. 1 second. You like writing? Do you ever think of writing for magazines like Authority magazine or for a wider range of exposure? And,
Yeah, Authority. I'm not familiar with that one. But
they have actually, if I get your email and that, I can email you. They put out a list of different topics they want, and it has a wide range.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing. So there's so many goodies in the chat. So make sure you save that. What is one thing, what are you taking away from this? And what do you sense is your first action step?
I think the thing that's really bubbling to the surface is like, what are the ways that I like to share? Like, where are the places I like to be, ease is a big theme, I think, for me to follow. And when you said LinkedIn, in LinkedIn voice, it's intimate and just one a week, Instagram live, one a week, just keep talking about it. And so I'm gonna do that. Yeah, there's always supposed to be some call to action. I don't know, grab the manifesto, chat about it with a girlfriend, come to my website, come hang out for tea. Yeah. Thank you. Feel so nourished.
Amazing. We've got 54 seconds left. Any final words of wisdom, tips, tricks?
Something came to me, Susan, at the beginning of your conversation, and it's just an invitation to dig into that, right? There's something around when you were like pushing out something that you don't want, like really look into that, dive into that. What is it that you're not happy with as part of your business, right? I'm horrible at delegating, and I used to be high-end corporate executive, and you know, that's something that I learned as I got higher in that, is learning how to delegate. So if something makes you twitchy in your business, it's time to farm that out.
Interesting.
So
Thank you.
maybe.
Thank you.
Amazing. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm getting so much out of this. This is fantastic. Really appreciate the space that's been created here. Monica, are you feeling called to share?
Yeah, I'm going to take a step at it,
Okay.
being courageous.
Do it.
Not being prepared is not very German, but it's good. I'm doing it anyway. So my idea is around sharing more of the inner development goals that I talked about in the October monthly meeting at the Female Wave of Change. And through different conversations that I had around this topic and around me positioning myself differently and in a new and deeper way in my business, which is Clear Directions Coaching, where I do mostly leadership coaching. But by leadership coaching, I also talk about each person themselves to be leaders in their own life and work, not necessarily only corporate leaders. In any case, so in my effort to find a new way of positioning myself with clarity and also in a way that attracts the right people that I would like to work with, I'm quite intrigued by this idea of working with the inner development goals as a lead into the types of conversations that I would like to have. And to explain the context of the inner development goals, they are goals that invite us to work on ourselves first and foremost in 5 dimensions in order to support the bigger sustainability development goals that the UN has put out there, which we are lagging terribly behind achieving them. And it was discovered that many of us as individuals may not have the capacity to actually step into action and adding our contribution to achieving those goals. And that's how the inner development goals have been developed, as a way for each individual to work on themselves first and foremost, and therefore also support and nourish the bigger goals. So my question that I want to put out there is, even just as you're hearing me talk about it unprepared, do you think there is is that a smart approach? Is that a approach that you can see work? And maybe just ask me some prodding questions to get deeper and for me to even get more clarity about what it is that and how I want to communicate about this. I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Thank you.
Can you describe the link between the goals and the work that really lights you up?
Thank you. Yes, I can. So the goals, and I'm going to share the link actually, so you get an idea about the framework. Just going to put that in the chat. So there's 5 dimensions, which are being, thinking, relating, collaborating, and acting. And in particular, the being part is very important for me because that's the foundation of my work, is to help in the individuals that I get to work with to rediscover, reconnect who they truly are and live and work from that place of authentic connection to self, being connected to their purpose, what they're here for. And for me to help them to connect to that and dig that out and take it into action. That's what lights me up, to see people connect with that and to be a facilitator for that or a conduit for that is just what I feel I'm here to do. Thank you. Patrice.
I just need a little bit more clarity of what you're asking. So I see you've got, are you asking, should I be using these inner development goals to be able to do more of what you love doing, connecting people with their true self and why they're here. Is that the question you're asking us? Should I use that, or what are you hoping?
Thank you. Thank you for that clarifying question. I'm hoping to just get some feedback on how does that land with you, even as I'm talking about it. Does it feel aligned to you, or do you feel there's something there that doesn't make sense to you, or is there something that feels inauthentic or not aligned with who you perceive me to be? Just any kind of feedback, that would be amazing.
Like I did see when you were when you started to explain how it connects to what you're doing. I mean, then I could see it was all really clear. When you're first presenting, you were saying something about the UN goals.
Yeah.
And that threw me off. I'm sorry to say, but it was
No,
like,
that's,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good feedback. Thank you. Appreciate it. Susan.
I had the honor to hear you speak, and I think there's a couple of things that come to mind when I think of the model and what you shared, and is that my from where I see the world, and I think often what I think about is that there's so much change, and our world is just you fill in the blank. And so when I think of becoming more conscious, being able to embody the goals, that feels very appealing to me, this idea that I can become a person who is even more connected to, more aligned to what the world needs, and more able to, and so developing those capacities, because we get strung out by our exhaustion and our despair, in the sense that I can't do anything, right? And so there, at the individual level, there can be a real sense of, it's not really, I mean, that's why people don't even vote. So I think the idea of becoming versus more doing is very interesting to me, to think about. Wait a minute, I can grow in alignment with what matters to me. It feels like a different pathway than like, okay, you got to rally up the energy to do X, Y, and Z, which is also necessary. And then I think that, and this is what I experienced when I was listening to you, is that you had a really lovely way of kind of drawing the connection between the UN development goals and the individual. And it's like, okay, wow, that's pretty awesome. Now, I can't say that I woke up the next day saying I want to, embody the UN's development goal, but I did feel into this sense of contributing to something greater, and it does feel aligned to, I think, the work that you're doing, which is really sounds like you're really tending to the inner landscape of the individual, to awaken their purpose, to help them listen, to help them respond, and so that feels really, really fun. Fun. Oh, goodness, can that be fun? But like, maybe that's just because it's my geek space, but and I think then the question would be like, should I? Well, what would happen to Monica if she didn't? Like, something tells me you've already crossed that line of, oh, I'm interested. It's more like, in what form could this take? So I'd encourage you to hang out on the other question is, if I didn't, then what? Because sometimes that can reveal some of what we need to tend to as well. Like, feels like there's a little, it's not washing off in the shower, obviously. Some things do, and this hasn't. So it's gonna follow you. You're so good luck with that. And
Thank you. Thank you for all your points, all well taken.
Absolutely. I'm super curious. Yeah. And I think for a German, and I have some German roots, I think it's a good move to come out raw, so good on you. So
thank you.
And you'll make it excellent, I'm sure.
Thank you. Deb.
So a couple thoughts. Susan encapsulated some of them already, just around the concept of what can't you let go. So if this is a thought you can't let go of, then you're meant to do it. So that's my first thing, just echoing Susan's remarks. The other thing that comes up for me is how much education you want to have to do. And that gets back to your ideal client. So do you want to have to continually be educating people about the Sustainable Development Goals and how the IDGs fit into that? Because that's, a huge education nugget. Or do you want to hang out with people that are already familiar with the SDGs, where they might not yet have a knowledge of IDGs, but they dovetail so beautifully together. So that's that uphill education of, I need to inform them about both in order for them to, get with the program. Or do I, cut that education curve in half and only, you know what I'm saying? So that comes up for me. The other thing that comes up for me is hanging around people like me who are already doing a big chunk of that SDG education with businesses, and you come in and dovetail with this piece. There's a lot of social impact trainers and consultants in Australia and in Europe, not so much here in Canada yet, but the work that you do is certainly international. So you and I can brainstorm about some places where I think it might make sense for you to hang out with SDG people who don't yet know about IDGs. So that's kind of what comes up for me.
Amazing. Love it all. Thank you so much. Some amazing nuggets. Thank you, everybody.
I can already see this bringing to life some of your deeper desires about working with folks from Germany. And I'm just like, oh, Germany, oh my gosh, they're gonna be all over this.
I could see that too.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm glad I did this. Very glad.
We still have about a minute and a half. Does anybody else have any feedback they want to give, or thoughts or insights?
So I think I'm not sure if this is exactly the road that Deb was going down, but I know there's a part of me that, if I was you doing this, I'd be like, oh, I need to take a course on all of this stuff. And then I'm like, but so there's the part of me that says, I don't think you need to.
No.
You can reference it, but my sense is that on behalf of like finding ease and flowing with what you already know is what's Monica's expression of this versus I have these goals. You can always say, inspired by, referenced by, this isn't about, but I think that one feels even more interesting to me than, you've got some accreditation to do the thing. Some people want that. I'd be more up for like, take me hand in hand and tell me, how can it weave in with your existing body of work so that you can have fun and be creative and play if that's what you like to do. That's what I like to do. But so I sense you could impart your own layers of wisdom to it, because it's a super pretty diagram. Like that wasn't lost on me. You know what? It's like, ooh, these are pretty. It's like, learning candy. But yours would probably be even more lovely.
Thank you.
Just thinking.
Beautifully said. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks, everyone. So, Monica, what's sitting with you after everything you've taken in, and is there an action step that you feel called to step into?
Well, it all resonated. I love every bit of it. What stands out the most, I think, was Susan's question, what if I didn't do that? And the note of doing it with ease and just use it as inspired by. I think that's totally good enough for me. I don't need to learn them every word by heart. No, I give them my own flavor. So I love that idea as well. So my action step, and actually I want to thank Deb as well, because Deb, you already made a connection to Catherine, who is working in the IDG area as well, and we had a one-on-one, so that's already cooking our collaboration there, which is amazing. So what action step can I commit to? I think I will commit to the question that Susan asked me, what if not? Do some exploring around that. And actually also ponder, or more so open the question up to the universe and my inner intelligence to see, so what would that look like if I give it the Monica flavor? So I think that's what I'll do. Thank you, everybody. That was amazing.
Amazing. Oh my goodness. I feel so nourished.
This is amazing. I have very little understanding of IDG and STG, like aside from really high level concepts. So the nitty gritty of how to fold it into business or understand is still live under too much of a rock to get it. So good for you. And thank you for opening my eyes to it, because I'll be doing some research on this.
Thank you.
Yeah, likewise. I love it. I think it just helps you to reach a broader swath of audience, like people that are environmentally inclined. Well, that's your in, and you're like, well, if you care about the environment, you have to do your inner work. Sorry. But...
Yeah, and also people that feel they can't contribute, right? Like they feel it's all so big, like I can't do anything. Like it's just
overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, exactly.
Yeah.
It feels way too big, but no, you can start with yourself. Yeah.
You know, it's so interesting too, because it reminds me, I've been to a couple of, and motorsports is kind of my background, corporate and motorsports, but seeing the roles of how sustaining development departments are being created within that industry as well is unbelievable, because they're talking about not only, like, I didn't realize how big of an umbrella this goes to, because it's not only like thinking about, well, maybe you should design a more fuel efficient car, use biofuels and put that into racing or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's about, how do we organize the events? What are our utensils being made out of? Like, it's all these nitty gritty things of the entire organization that is the change thing. And Monica, this is so massive. Yeah.
Nice work. Look at all these seeds, just like plantings all over. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being part of the inaugural, for working through all the bumps and hiccups to get online and everything. I've taken some good notes about the timer and raise hand function if you want to answer a question, ask a question, and using the chat to capture salient points, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to keep refining. I'll send you a follow-up email with just 1 or 2 questions so that we can gather a little bit more feedback from your experience. Next Wednesday night is our Female Wave of Change monthly meeting. If any of you are going, there's a segment where we're going to just talk again about seeds of change. And if there's one of you, I think we'll only have time for one, that would just say like a couple words about what your experience was, just to help get the word out from a participant perspective versus us talking about it. It helps so much. And in that email, we'll ask just for a testimonial as well, so that we can share what the experience is like in your words. It makes a big difference. So that would be great. Other than that, thank you. I have a hard stop at 1, but maybe just a quick circle of one word that expresses how you are feeling in this moment as we come to a close and have gone through this.
I just feel encircled by warmth, support. It's beautiful.
Grateful.
Peaceful.
Yeah, deeply grateful and warm.
Inspired is what's sitting with me. Inspired. Right. Amazing. Nurture your seeds.
Thank you
I
for
don't know.
creating the
Everyone.
space, and yeah, thank you for making this happen, Emilia.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thanks,
Amazing.
everyone.
Wonderful.
Emily, what day is that?
It's Wednesday,
The
the
15th.
15th.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm
4:30
gonna-
till 6 Pacific.
Sorry.
4:30 till 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific.
Okay. Usually I have those, but I didn't have that one on my calendar. So
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I think I saw that you registered. I don't know. It's
I think
the,
I registered yesterday.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.